Hi, my name is Jessica Epps, and I am a kindergarten teacher here at Arrow Acres Elementary School. And today I will be sharing with you some important information about how children develop reading skills, listening skills, and what we need to do as educators to help them learn how to communicate and learn how to grow in receiving information, and their receptive language skills and their expressive language skills. The first thing that I'd like to talk to you about is that there has been very much decades of research confirming that students who have good oral language skills and have that opportunity to gain and develop those skills will have, and they have the listening comprehension. When they have those skills, they are better readers. So all of this language development helps them become a better reader. It helps them comprehend information. It helps them to understand information. And when they are developing, they're learning how they're hearing oral language being spoken to them, and then they're processing that. They're hearing it, they're processing that, and their brain is working on trying to understand that language. And as they're growing, they're starting to make noises, they're starting to babble, they're starting to make sounds. And eventually those sounds turn into language, and it turns into making those sounds go together to make a word. All of this oral language that they're hearing is vital for their development and for their reading, their future reading skills. And this is very good for them because it helps them with understanding language and comprehending language and being able to communicate back in language. I wanted to talk to you also about the second thing that we are going to talk about is how they develop when they're a little bit older and they're in elementary school. They're going into kindergarten, and they're starting kindergarten, they're starting elementary school. Children are learning, they have more vocabulary, they have more ideas, they have more things that they want to say to us as educators and to their friends. And when they have the skills, they will be able to read. But we have to give them first the listening skills, the listening comprehension skills. What I thought was interesting, let me find my notes. At this age, children are able to collaborate together. They are able to talk with one another. They're able to share their ideas. They're able to speak in phrases or sentences, and they can participate in discussions with one another. For example, they take turns, they can listen to one another. These are the normal developmental skills that they should have at this age. They can continue a conversation and ask questions about a conversation and participate in these group discussions. I thought that was very interesting. The next thing that I want to talk about is how do children with language delays, how does that affect their listening and their speaking? Well, when a child has a language delay, they sometimes they are not able to understand language that's being spoken to them. As they're not able to understand that spoken language, the oral language, they can't comprehend it, and they have difficulty understanding language. They have difficulty comprehending it. They have difficulty understanding what's being said to them. So they are unable to, at times, communicate back with their expressive language because they're not understanding what's being spoken to them. Some children are very delayed, and they're far back from their other classmates. Other children have problems putting sounds together and to make a simple word like at or cat. And then other children may have all of these problems. So every child is different, but those are some of the effects that they have when they have a delay in language. The last thing that I'd like to speak about today is when we have listening skills, and when we have these listening skills, what is the effect with the reading skills? And I have learned a lot of information about that. I've learned that children learn how to read by listening to another person speak. They listen to another person and they hear oral language. They hear sounds. They hear words. They hear someone pronounce something, someone say a word repetitively over and over again. They hear that and they're able to process that. With that knowledge, they can learn more and they advance in their skills to be able to communicate and use language back, to be able to use expressive language and be able to speak their thoughts and their ideas. And when they do that, this is the foundation that helps them learn how to read. They are developing listening skills. They're developing comprehension skills. They're developing all the skills that they need to be able to learn how to read. They're learning how to see the word cat and seeing it in print, and they're learning how to break it apart and decode it and see it in print and look at it and decode it and break it apart into sounds to be able to read it. And they're also able to hear it and comprehend it. And this all is the foundation for them to learn how to read. And that's how our brain works with listening skills and oral language skills and reading skills. It's vital. It's very, very important that we teach our children these skills. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is that listening comprehension skills can help children who are English language learners, can help children who are struggling with reading, it can help children who are below grade average reading. This can help all of those groups of children and children with delays and disabilities learn how to read. So this is very important, and I hope that you learned a lot of information today, and it was nice to speak with you all today. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day. Bye-bye.